I'm Professor Pi. Welcome to my daily mathematical adventures. Hey, don't forget me. I'm Cowboy Rufus. I'm your favorite student. Today we're going to talk about angles. You know, you've seen angles before. They look like this. Maybe they look like this. But they're all angles. This is angle measurement. G.congruence.C.8 proof theorems about lines and angles. We now have some lines in geometry we've studied recently. We now have lines. To prove theorems about angles, now we have to get some angles. Some of you already know much of this from 5th grade, but we'll see what we can add to your knowledge. The I can statements are, I can measure and classify angles. I can identify and use the terms congruent and the bisector of an angle. This is a protractor. As you can see, he's lining this up. The bottom of your protractor goes right down that side of the protractor, and your angle goes up. Now, the bottom numbers are for the angles smaller than 90. The angles wider than 90 are going to be the top numbers. And we'll come back to the protractor in a minute. First, we need some definitions. A ray is half a line. It starts somewhere and it goes on and on forever. Two rays that meet, we call them an angle. Notice how many angles I have around my X. I have 4 angles. What's the vertex? What's the intersection? It's the middle of that X. So now we have 2 lines that cross and they make an angle. The exterior angle is the long way around an angle. The interior is the short way to measure an angle. If it's a 90-degree angle, the short way and the long way would be the same. Degree, the easy and accepted way to measure an angle. There is something called radians. We may not talk about that in geometry. We may wait until you get to trigonometry. An angle bisector. Last week we had a segment bisector. What did it do? It cut a segment in half. What's the angle bisector do? It cuts an angle in half. It forms 2 congruent angles. And like I said, you got some of this before. Many of you know that an acute angle is any angle below 90 degrees. An acute angle is any angle below 90 degrees. Then we have an obtuse angle. Obtuse angles are more than 90 degrees. The particular angle I'm showing here is 138 degrees. It's more than 90. Now, if you go all the way across, you get a straight angle. That looks like a line. That's 180 degrees. Then we have your right angle. It's exactly 90 degrees. So now we have angles. We have acute angles, we have obtuse angles, we have right angles. You can measure them with this protractor. You can measure them with the protractor, but sometimes you don't need to measure an angle, you just need to be able to guess. See the notebook paper? Average piece of notebook paper. What is this corner here? Is it straight? It's 90 degrees. The notebook paper is 90 degrees on 4 different corners. Obtuse angles are going to look wider than this piece of paper. Here, this is 90. If you put that in the middle of your angle and you've got angle left over, it's obtuse angle. It's between 90 and 180. If you put this corner of the paper in your angle and it hides the entire angle, then the angle must be acute. And once again, it won't hide a 90-degree angle, because if you put this in the middle of your angle, it looks exactly 90 degrees, just like all four corners on my paper. This is the protractor many of you will have. It's got some markings here. It's got 10. It also says 170. 20 also says 160. If it's an acute angle, you're going to take the bottom number. Now, this is an angle that looks like 40 degrees. See? 40 degrees. Right here. See the 40? Yeah, that's an acute angle right here. It's an acute angle. This is the interior of the angle. The exterior, I told you, the exterior was the long way around. The exterior is 140. It's the big number right here. Now let's go to a right angle. 90 degrees, right angle. Where's the interior of the angle? It can be on either side, but there is no long way around. It's 90 degrees this way. It's 90 degrees this way. Notice on the protractor, you got 90 degrees. You don't have two numbers up there. It's 90. What's an obtuse angle look like? That angle is 140 degrees. We're measuring from here. Start with the 0, 140. We line this up. We put the vertex of the angle right there in that little hole. That makes your line go straight through. This one ray goes straight through to 0. The other one goes up at an angle. That's how we measure the angle. Now, once again, let's try it again. This is 70, 80. This is 88-degree angle. Is that acute or is it right? It has to be acute because it's not up to 90 yet. Right would be right here. Now, this is 110-degree angle. That's obtuse. And what's a straight angle look like? Looks just like that. It's a line that goes straight across. So we have the angles. You're going to be given these protractors and we're going to measure some angles, and then you can do the assignment below. Thanks for watching another Professor Pi video. Yeah, y'all come back tomorrow. Cowboy Rufus and Professor Pi will teach you something new.